Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain.
Performance-enhancing drugs can be classified as drugs that may be used to make one stronger or to endure more stress on the muscles.
There are huge consequences to using these types of drugs.
These consequences include, but are not limited to, liver failure, aggression, balding, high blood pressure, HIV, oh God, and cardiovascular problems. Would you use performance-enhancing drugs yourself if you wanted to in sports?
Myself, I would not use performance-enhancing drugs.
Why would you say that?
The reason why I wouldn't is I know some of the long-term effects that it can have on your organs, and I know that some things can take away years off your life. In addition to that, the human body is only meant to do so much, and if I'm pushing my body beyond its limits, there's a good chance that my body could break down, and then I wouldn't be able to use what little talent I do have.
How would you enforce people to stop using performance-enhancing drugs?
I think part of it would be to not reward those people. In sports, you see people get suspended for using drugs after they have a good year, and they still get rewarded. So if those people weren't getting the contracts and the leagues and the commissioners took a stance against it, I think you'd see that decrease in addition to testing.
Do you think the game, any sports game, would be more interesting if people use performance-enhancing drugs?
I don't know that it'd be more interesting. I think it's more interesting when we see athletes do things that we're not used to seeing, whether it be natural or with the enhancement of drugs. So I can't necessarily say it'd be better or more interesting with it, because you see a lot of players do it, but they're still not any better because they weren't that good to begin with.
So if you were involved in performance-enhancing drugs and you wanted to stop, how would you do that?
Personally, I would just try to stop by myself, and if I couldn't, I would try to get help from a family member to help limit it and eventually stop it.
How would you keep other players from using steroids or performance-enhancing drugs?
There's not a lot you can do when it comes to other people and their choices, but the best thing, in my opinion, is just to talk to them through it.
If you witnessed somebody using steroids, somebody that you knew, how would you go about it?
I wouldn't feel very good about it, because if I knew them, and let's say I knew them as a good person, it doesn't feel right for them to be cheating.
Do you think the game would be more interesting if the players used performance-enhancing drugs such as steroids?
Well, I think the game would definitely be more interesting, but at the same time, it would be cheating. But if everyone would use performance-enhancing drugs, I think the game would definitely be more interesting and more fun to, say, watch or go to that event or so. So I definitely think if everyone would be using performance-enhancing drugs, I think it would be more interesting sport to watch.
If one of your fellow players started using performance-enhancing drugs, how would you feel?
Honestly, I would be upset that the player would be using that drug now, because it's not fair for the other people. That's my opinion. But if everyone else is using it and it's okay, then I'd be okay with it. But in that situation, I would not, because that's not okay, and everyone else is not doing it.
Do you know the dangers of steroids or performance-enhancing drugs?
Yes, I do, and I don't. I know that it's very unsafe to use it, and there are a lot of side effects with using performance-enhancing drugs such as steroids. And I don't think it's a good idea to use it, but a good way to enhance the sport.
Statement this morning, the committee's primary goal in this inquiry is to break the vicious cycle of growing steroid use that begins at the professional level and inevitably, it seems, trickles down to college and high school sports.
You could take the easy way.
Or the right way.